have now reached the intersection where ideas, beliefs, and perspectives collide. So be free to be you. It's the Xrossroadz Podcast with your hosts, author, speaker, and transformational strategist, Barzini and entrepreneur, empowerment coach, and tech diva, Dre Renee. If you're ready to talk love, business, politics, and everything in between, you're in for a ride. Welcome to the Xrossroadz Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, 100 Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire and tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Xrossroadz, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
What's going on?
I'm good. I'm trying to make some adjustments to my set now that I've seen your microphone look like it's
higher
on the neck.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
So now we good. Just leave.
Yeah, I've literally not done anything to it. It's just
I was like, you're looking a little.
My mic has an erection this week.
Oh, see, now I said a neck, but he went and did something else. But
I'm a perv, I guess. I'm a guy. Guys will be guys, right?
Guys will be guys. Boys will be boys. That's what they normally say.
We're back for a new week, but it feels like I just talked to you day before yesterday.
I know, right? Time flies. Having fun.
Listen, every part of my body hurts.
Yeah. Now, what did you do? Oh, you were out with the kids. You're being the...
Yeah, we had a carnival. We'll call it field day, but it was like a whole carnival. I had rented like jumpers and big inflatables and bought a whole bunch of games. So they had like ring toss and cornhole and like the giant Connect Four and basketball tournaments and football. And then I bought like pizza for the whole school and rented a cotton candy machine, and we bought a popcorn machine and all the snacks and food you can eat. And they just had a blast. We had movie rooms and game rooms and all that stuff because it was the last day of school today. So,
oh, thank God. Let me just say that, okay? Because trying to record or just on a regular day, poor Barzini just goes through it. So thank God them kids is gone for the summer.
I mean, I still got to go. I still have to do their graduation ceremony, their camp in a couple of weeks. Oh, it's a lot of work still.
Still thank God, but we're gonna give some extra thanks when it's really.
I get to work without kids on campus for a few days.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Well, speaking of, both things. My body hurts because I was out trying to perfect my little Tigress Woods situation.
Tigress.
But I didn't realize all the muscles and things that you use. I'm like, this ain't miniature golf. This is a whole different situation. So shout out to Tiger and everybody that plays golf.
I want to get my golf game up. I've always said I really don't care about the game of golf like that. Like I respect it, but I just really want to dress fly and smoke cigars on the golf course and make business deals.
I can see where it would be a lot of fun. All that whole, situation, and definitely if you win. But I had a good time until I woke up like
feeling all in your shoulders, huh?
Something. It's really like my lower back. Yeah, lower back. And some up here, but that's just because I'm usually wound tight and I need to relax anyway, but definitely in my lower back. But when I thought about school, I thought about you yesterday because it marks 7 years since I have not been a slave. I turned in my resignation letter to Fadams and Fadas.
So number one, congratulations. And number two, did you just call me a slave?
No, I said 7 years that I haven't been a slave.
And
oh Oh gosh, maybe I should not say that then. Never mind. I was thinking about myself. I was not thinking about in relation to others. But
so you's free when the rest of us niggas is
I know. Oh god, and that's
there is
absolutely
see, and I
as I said, that ain't what I meant.
Every week she gonna give me something to fuck with her.
Hey. But I'm at home while it's happening.
Right.
I'll take it, but that's not what I meant at all. I was not saying that
the rest of us peasants must go.
Oh God, that's absolutely not what I meant. I just meant I'm not slaving for nobody anymore. And maybe, there are people that go to work that absolutely don't identify with that. Like they really enjoy what they do. They would do it a million times over. So it's not just if you have a job, you're a slave. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm saying for me, that's exactly what it was under the circumstances. So let's just rewind that back and say it's been 7 years since I submitted a resignation. That's all. I'll leave the rest. I'll leave the rest alone.
And you was like, since I
get some letters.
Identify as I love we this identify as
right.
I'm like,
so last time since I've identified,
I'm gonna start making right. I was about to say that I'm gonna just make up new shit. I'm gonna go to work and be like, I do not identify as an employee.
I'll be like, so what are you?
All right, I don't know. I got to figure that one out.
Yeah. So it's.
But you got a lot of motherfuckers that don't identify as employed.
Now that is the truth.
Whether as self-employed or not, I'm like,
or not. I identify with this couch.
There it is. I'm on the way. I got big plans, baby. Big plans.
Yeah. But I tell people all the time, like working for yourself or just not working for somebody does not automatically mean you're chilling. I'm just moving to that part of business where we are like outsourcing and offloading different things, but these years have been discipline. That's really the name of the game. You are working harder in some cases for yourself than you ever would for somebody else. So it's because you care about your boss more.
Well, I mean, because if you think about
celebrate Bosses Day.
Yeah. But if you think about the concept of just even in leadership in general, people work harder for you when they like you. It has nothing to do with anything else. Like, so the way that you feel about your boss often dictates the way that you work for your boss. So even if you're self-employed, your level of work and or discipline towards your boss, which is yourself, is going to directly reflect how you feel about yourself. So
I do like her. She's pretty phenomenal.
I like her too. She's been cool.
She gave me more time off. She gonna give me time off this coming week. We're gonna have a whole week.
Do you submit PTO requests?
Nope. I just say this is what it is.
You don't never get it denied. Your boss don't never be like, nah, your ass need to work.
Yeah, sometimes she does. Or the client does. Like,
that's funny. Yeah. So once I clock out, then I gotta go to my next gig in which I work for myself. One of them being the Xrossroadz.
Yeah. And you don't get PTO.
We don't get
no. You do. Sometimes we talk about it like, okay, maybe today's not the day, but then there's sometimes like today.
Yeah.
Come on and
and that's the part. That's the part that like I just wish people can see, and maybe we'll let them in. But just like y'all today, I'm not feeling it today.
When you don't have it to give, and you got to give anyway.
And so there's oftentimes where, because I'm not a full-time entrepreneur, I do my entrepreneurial stuff after my 9 to 5, but I don't always have it. And so there's conversations oftentimes where, like today, we're recording because we absolutely have to. We have to plan for things that are coming up. And like in advance, so there's so much strategy and planning going into this. It's so much more than, and I'm finding like not everybody does it like us. Other people they record when they want, They're like,
they miss a week, they're like, be back next week.
Yeah, and so knock on wood and pray to God that we miss no scheduled episodes. But we've been doing this thing it feels like we've been doing this a lot longer than we have. But we've not missed a week. So 12 o'clock every Thursday, y'all are 12 o'clock Pacific time. Y'all are getting the Crossroads, and sometimes just in the nick of time,
by the grace,
by the Lord. But we work together. We work together well, and I think that we supplement and complement each other well. Business wise, we motivate each other, and we just bring our strengths are very strong. And so I think that both of us are what the other needs, because I'm more often than not in my right brain, and we can do the and so Dre, she's my left brain. It's like, okay, well, what we need to do is we need to schedule this and this, right. this, and make sure we have our notes and so we balance each other out in that regard.
It's a pleasure. This is actually episode 25. It's part 2, so we've definitely had more than 25 episodes recorded, but this is this episode 25, part 2. That's going up right now, and it's pretty unbelievable because this is something that we started. It was an idea like, hey, we should do this. And then, you guys have heard the story and Shannon gave the push. And then, we ran out the gate, and, within 3 to 4 weeks after that, we were,
on the air.
We were doing it, and we haven't looked back since. And I'm like, wow, we're going to blink and it'll be a year, because we're already experiencing, a year post the COVID, right? So all those things that are happening and, that you could think of last year. Somebody was saying like, oh, it's been a year since, Versus, and a year since, D Nice and all the things. And so sooner or later, and more so sooner, it'll be a year since, the first Crossroads episode.
Yeah.
Airwaves.
Oh, we got to think of something for the year anniversary. Well, no. Oh, wait.
I know.
We're gonna have to record. We have to record the anniversary episode before the anniversary.
We will, because I'll be working on the anniversary.
Yeah. You're gonna be working on a whole lot of things. So
we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But so this is part 2 of last week, and but before we get into this, we do have to pay some bills, right? And
we do have to always pay the bills. So. Yeah. As always, this week's episode of The Crossroad is brought to you by the House of 334.
It's the house.
So for all of your copyright branding and business needs, go to houseof334.com. It is Black owned. It is woman owned. I almost said the other word. Hold up. Did you hear that? Y'all, pre-show we had a whole discussion on woman versus female, and
hilarious.
And we're gonna put a pin in that. But yes, the House of 334 and our other sponsor, Carbon 12 Clothing. That is CRBNTWLV.com. That is Carbon 12 without the vowels. Check it out for your fashion needs. So. Absolutely. Now that the bills are paid, what do we have this week on the fuck?
Oh my gosh. So every week we, Barzini and I will send each other memes, because we always find things that men can't do, among other things that we send each other. But there's always, I don't think there's ever a week that we don't find something that says what men can't do. So this week, men having big beds is gay. What do you need all that room for? Another man? Sheesh. And what is big beds? Are we talking king? We talking California king? Is it just supposed to be big enough just for you? What's a big bed? And why can't you have one?
Maybe I need a big bed to get away from her ass. Like, bitch, move. Thinking with that dumb shit. I like, damn, maybe I'm trying to fill a space. Maybe the decor, the size goes with the decor. Maybe I have a fucking California King headboard. Like, goddamn. So, like, if I got to tally up, we can't have a big bed. We can't order dessert. We can't order appetizers. We can't take naps. We can't watch cartoons. We can't, what else?
I'm trying to think of some other things you can't do. But those are, you definitely can't do any of those things. Can you laugh? I don't think you can.
I don't know.
You know, can't have any joy. You got to just
look
and stoic.
My official response to that is grow the fuck up. If you ever want me, and that's about as succinct that I can ever get. Like, if we got to start the clock back over and say, Barzini, you got 60 seconds to respond. Grow the fuck up.
Boom. And you did that in under 60 seconds. Your whole thing was under 60 seconds. Ow, ow, ow. about 55.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah, I definitely would echo that sentiment. I don't know why, there's so many things that men can't do. But I enjoy a large bed, that, especially if you're the type of person who can hold a lot of heat. It's great to have some room to breathe. I really don't see a downside of that. And to automatically say, well, it's because there's another man in the bed. Like, that's just
right. Or bitch, I'm 6'2". That's why.
Right.
And I will
what size bed Shaq has.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got something custom.
Yeah, almost like somebody had to build that.
Right. But at the end of that, listen, you have not slept until you have slept diagonally.
That is facts. That is
right.
Facts. And if you can do that with somebody in the bed,
exactly. You definitely got, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, that diagonal sleep with the one leg out of the cover, so you can balance the. Do you ever do that? The one leg out?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's too hot, and then you stick that one leg out, and all of a sudden you're balanced.
Yeah. Cool down. That's free AC.
Because I'm a under the covers with the fan and the AC.
Oh God, let's talk about that. Is that all men? Oh God.
I don't know.
Like I'm in an igloo.
That's why you get under the covers. Like, you have to create it. You have to make it cold enough to enjoy the covers.
I guess that makes sense.
Like, what I need covers for? Yeah, what I need covers for is so hot. Yeah, because then the thing is, then if you're out of the covers, then you get too cold.
Exactly. Except I know somebody who doesn't. I'm just like, oh my God, you look like your teeth should be chattering, but not at all. Just enjoying that good,
just like that coolness,
breeze and cool. Yes. Meanwhile, I'm like, throw another blanket on. Okay, well, I got my weighted blanket.
Until y'all get in the shower and you set the damn water temperature to hell.
We'll see. At least we're consistent.
Fucking volcanic water. Why do y'all do it? I don't get. Why do women need the damn water so hot?
Well, it depends on what so hot is. I thought it was standard
for y'all. That shit, you get in there and just start melting. Like, goddamn. I don't know.
Kill germs.
Yeah, whatever. That's what soap is for. Hey, and that always begs a question. We're gonna get into the topic, y'all. I promise.
You got another question.
Yeah. Can soap get dirty?
Lord, this is for the live. This is definitely not.
I'm just like, if you drop soap in dirt, is the soap dirty or is the dirt clean?
No, the soap is dirty.
So then, if soap doesn't clean dirt, if soap can get dirty, then how does it clean?
So if dirt is on your bar of soap, you can't imagine that then taking that dirty bar of soap. I mean, if you continue to scrub or whatever, it's going to wash away the dirt. Like, the dirt has to leave the premises. You can't use dirty soap to get clean.
But then, is it clean dirt? Or can dirt ever be clean?
I don't know that dirt.
And if dirt can never be clean, then how can soap ever be dirty? Are they opposites?
What? Dirt is dirt, right? And I think the only way you can clean dirt from something, like remove dirt from something, but I don't know that you can clean dirt, because then it wouldn't be dirt.
So then, if you're removing dirt from soap, are you then cleaning the soap? And what would you clean soap with?
Itself.
So if you have to
water,
right? So if you have to clean soap, then how can soap clean?
You don't have to, but if you've made it dirty,
if you
have to remove the dirt from the soap.
No, what I'm saying, if you can clean soap, then therefore, how could soap clean?
If you didn't get nobody. I've already said it. Both things can be true. If you put dirt on soap, then you have to clean it.
That wasn't a gotcha. That's deep.
Oh, I was like, wait. Both things can absolutely be true. Soap cleans, and it can clean itself.
Y'all,
remove all the stuff.
This random wormhole has been brought to you by Woke Soap.
Right. Wish we had some soap to sell you.
Right. Anyway, so okay. I promise we have a topic.
So, can y'all get to what we came here for?
Yeah. So look, we're gonna have to put in the description the timestamp for when we actually talk about what the fuck we came to talk about.
Right.
So y'all, we're continuing our conversation about falling in love with your best friend. We kind of dove into it last week.
That was a good episode, part 1.
Yeah. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. You actually about 20 minutes into this episode by now. But I said before y'all watch this, but go back and check it out to kind of connect the dots of what we're going to talk about. But so last week we talked about falling in love with your best friend and some scenarios, but we also had some submissions for some real life scenarios that this happened. So we kind of want to share those stories with those people who chose to remain anonymous, but kind of unpack those things, because there's some of our listeners who've experienced the same thing and kind of want to get some insight. And if you ever want to share your stories, you can email us at the Xrossroadz Podcast at gmail.com. Send us your stories, send us your questions, or you can join our Facebook community at the Xrossroadz, and you can post there and submit your questions there. And so our Bitly with everything, our email, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and all the other social media
and where you can donate.
Yes. So listen,
be a sponsor.
Look, these bills got to get paid, y'all, because while it is a labor of love, it is not a labor that is free. So right. We do invest in ourselves.
Absolutely.
But we love it when our roadies invest in us as well.
Absolutely. And so before we get into these letters, you left off part 1, asking, if I'm not mistaken, when this kind of situation comes up for friends and it's not a match, it's not a love connection for whatever reason, like what happens to the friendship? And so I ended kind of with what I thought was my response was, emotional maturity. And it's a decision, it can be a hard decision, but it's a decision nonetheless. Was there something that you would have added to that?
I would echo that. And then I would ask yourself what you value more from that person. Like, is it a situation to where, like, does it have to be all or nothing? Right? Like, if I can't have you in this capacity, then I can't be in your life at all. Or is it, what, I would rather have this piece of you than have none of you at all. And so I think, and I don't think either of those are wrong answers. I'm more of a I'll take what I can get person rather than an all or nothing. I think I've kind of done the all or nothing thing once, but I was being dramatic. But overall, I also compartmentalize feelings and everything else. And it's kind of like I can feel some way, but still operate in another way. If I truly value you as a friend, you know. Because if I have to say, okay, so let's attach another emotion to it. If we said, okay, if you go on the opposite end of the spectrum from love, and not that hate is the opposite of love, but let's just say I become angry. Am I going to stop being your friend because I'm mad at you? And because I feel this way about you, you know, like you, or we can be friends and you might piss me off often. Does that mean we're not friends, or does it mean that when you do this is how I feel? And that would occur in a relationship anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's just going to be things that piss you off about someone who you love. And so it's, what about this person do you value? And are you able to hold on to those things that you valued before you fell in love with them? Because the falling in love happened over time. So what was it that connected you? What was it that made you best friends before you fell in love with this person? Because I would also venture to say, whether it was a love connection or not, this is the thing that you need to be connected to the entire time.
Right.
You know? And so if a romantic feeling unreciprocated can sever that thing that you built over time to become best friends, I would venture to question the best friendship.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
know.
think that was definitely what I said. Like, I was like, somebody gonna get mad, but yeah. But what are you calling friendship in the first place? So, okay. I just want to make sure you got a chance to say your part, since we were, you know,
tight on time. Yeah.
So I
want to get into these letters though.
Yeah.
We got letters, y'all.
Have mercy.
Dear Xrossroadz.
Right. Except not. So the original question, was absolutely around, have you ever secretly been in love with one of your friends and they were unaware? Why didn't you speak up? How did you handle watching them in relationships with other people, maybe even getting married? Were you truly happy for them or just playing a role? Now, some people answered all the questions. Some people focused in on what they wanted to. So here's the first. I was in love with my best friend, probably always will be. He's married now. I've always been okay with it because I knew that he was happy and being taken care of. I believe that if you truly love someone, you want them to be happy, even if it isn't with you. We still have a great friendship, never have crossed the line. Was the second part attached, oddly enough?
Yes.
That's the same story? Oddly enough, he admitted to me that he was in love with me a few years ago. We talked about the missed opportunities and moved forward. Okay, so I don't know who this is, so I hope it is somebody that I know, because I'm about to say, the fuck? Why are y'all having this conversation while he's married? Like, it's oh God. I'm just like, all I see is my little flashing light over here. I was like, let me finish my response before I find out.
Okay.
If I know who this person is or not. Because I really just unfiltered. I feel like these kinds of conversations, and someone else alluded to it, I think in another post, like these brown sugar moments, like if there's an opportunity for the two of you to be together, then having the conversation, cool. I don't know what it brings you to have that kind of conversation once one of you or both of you are married or in relationships, but definitely married. My goodness. Someone might say like, oh, well, we're mature enough to be able to have the conversation and move on. Maybe. But, if you've carried this, I'll probably always be in love with my best friend. And then he turns around and says, me too. That's how some people wind up. Okay. In some other stuff. And I don't know. I feel like if I was going to hold it, I would have held it. Especially if you're married now. If he gets divorced and you're still single, that might be your move. Like, oh my God.
But how
I've been
long
holding this for 25 years.
But how long after the divorce do you wait? Is there an appropriate time, or is it?
Oh, I bets are off. That. But I don't know if this is good or bad, but I generally feel like, men move much faster than women. So, no, well, I don't have a specific set of.
We tend to use other women to heal anyway. That's what I don't know if it's we've moved on. It's we're trying to, but it's still there. That's more of the more women is a band-aid typically.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, you guys wouldn't necessarily feel like, oh, it's disrespectful to approach me fresh out of a divorce. You be with it. So that's why I'm saying I don't think there's an amount of time. But as a friend, your friend, if it's something that, depending on how the marriage ended, you wouldn't want them to be still hurting or broken or whatever, trying to build something with them. And so maybe, just being a friend, sometimes these things happen and they develop through the course of you being there. But in the case of my friend is married, let me tell you how I used to feel or how I still feel, because that's what it's reading, how I still feel about you. And then, now he's in a situation where you have to respond. What are you going to do? Just act like you didn't hear it?
Listen, and then, I feel like she watched Love and Basketball before she told him, like.
Yeah, I'm going to play you for your heart. And get beat.
And hoping he say double or nothing. Listen, as great as that movie is, that was like, on his face, that's a dumbass scene. Yeah. But you still love it. But you still love it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because it's something that you would want to happen. But that. Was he supposed to get married like the next day or a couple of days from there? It was like,
I don't know.
The wedding was set. This wasn't like, oh, I just got engaged yesterday.
Yeah. Was in real life. You come rapping at my window talking about let's play. I'm like, you can't even hoop.
Monica could hoop. Don't do her like that. Monica had been overseas and everything. Oh, you talking about in real life?
Yeah, in real life. I don't have a Monica. Like, you can't even. You don't even like all these years. You got mad because I want to watch the game, and now you want to hoop from my heart. Yeah. I'm finna dunk on your ass.
So Barzini wouldn't even. He wouldn't even entertain the foolishness.
First of all, as much as I love my goddamn sleep, I'm pissed that you woke me up for this shit. Let's start there.
Tap 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 tap
tap tap tap, and I'm gonna give her the voice. We talk. What's up?
All right, come outside. Put your basketball shorts on.
Like, bitch, you can't get the fuck away from my. And where was his fiance? Wait, and I never got like.
She was an airline. She was a.
Why are you sleeping?
They don't call them stewardesses. Flight attendant. She's a flight attendant.
Yeah. Why are you sleeping at your mama house? Number one. Let's start there. You engaged. You got a whole life. You're gonna start, and you sleeping at your mama house for her to come rap on that same way. Okay.
I didn't even think about that.
We're gonna do a whole episode about shit in movies that don't make no goddamn sense. I'm sorry.
And Barzini is definitely the one, child. Okay, I could barely watch a movie without pause. Did you see the continuity? I'm trying to take it all in. No, I missed that.
Rewind. Look,
he was sitting facing this way, and then it cut, and he was facing this way. His hat was to the front. Now it's to the side. Like, okay.
Listen, that is absolutely me. I can't help it. Or when you catch the little Easter eggs before the plot opens up, like that's gonna mean something. Did you catch that? I bet that means something.
Oh, child.
I'm attentive.
You are, which is a good thing. Okay, let's move on to the next. Answering the question on your post. Yes, the answer is yes. But I didn't understand it was love. I didn't understand friendship in the context of a dating relationship. I've always had pure platonic male friends and have always had strong boundaries with that. With this person, we never flirted. Neither of us knew we were interested. He dated his child's mother. I got married, etc. We remained friends. Always supported each other. He completely respected my marriage. After I got divorced, we started talking more and realized we were always interested, but it wasn't a good time. I knew I loved him when I realized that he was the one person that I would shut it all down for. The minute he says, okay, I'm ready, my answer is yes. Is this continued?
Yeah.
He watched me in a relationship and never said a word, never said anything that disrespected my marriage or put me in a weird space. When he was dating someone, I fell all the way back. That's another way I knew I wanted him to be happy, even if it wasn't with me. And I didn't want to make things hard on him by pressing him while he was with someone else. And it's not that I was truly happy for him in that relationship, but it's more so that I'm happy that he is happy. I can rock with that. I can rock with, I mean, in terms of that
last part though, that was pretty.
Yeah. That's friendship.
Like, I'm not happy that you're with her.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're happy, but I'm not happy that it's not me.
Yeah. That's real spit right there. Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted him to be happy. I love him enough not to, put this extra on. Yeah. I'm not going to go and tell him that I'm interested, knowing that he's in a relationship, which low key puts it on him to have to respond in a certain way, like not to hurt your feelings, but to respect the relationship or the marriage that he's in. Like, nobody wants to be dealing with that. Keep it, tuck it, put it in your pocket, chew it, do something with it. Right. So I can vibe with that. Now, I'm assuming, she says that she didn't understand love in the context of a friendship versus the dating relationship, because she's had like platonic male friends. So I'm wondering, was it just after the divorce and this conversation that they were having, and now you're like, oh, I always felt, or was this something that was felt throughout? That part is not really clear to me.
I don't know, because I think sometimes when you come to that point of realization, you start to question, how long have I felt this way? Because it's not. I don't think falling in love is progressive. You know what I mean? I don't think everyone. I'm pretty sure someone say it, but you never hear someone say, "I'm falling in love with you." I'm falling. I'm in love with you.
Some people do. Some people do.
Yeah, I'm sure, but usually, typically, in my experience, you're there. It's a like falling in love.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just like, I've heard people describe it like, maybe it's when they're first aware, or maybe they feel like it's not too late for me to turn back. So maybe that's the falling. But in actuality, if you feel it, like you said, like you're already there.
Yeah. And it's like, dang, how long have I been here? How long have I felt this way? And so I think it's real interesting. But then I wonder, like, what if you figure out that you're in love with your friend while you're in a relationship and the relationship's not bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, do people, and I would love to get feedback, like in the comments, tell us, do y'all think that's possible to fall in love with someone else while you're in love with someone else? Or is it possible to fall in love with two people? You know what I mean? I think so. I absolutely think so too.
Yeah, I definitely have had feelings for a friend, and it, it didn't materialize. And so I think I said on last episode, like, you gotta live your life, baby. So, going on to meet someone or be in relationship doesn't automatically shut down the feelings that you have. But I mean, if and I think that's the difference between knowing that it's not going to go anywhere, so it kind of forces you forward. Well, unless you decide to just stay in that space, but it kind of forces you forward versus if you are in a situation, I think you mentioned it part one, where the feelings are reciprocated, or there's a possibility, maybe just because you haven't said anything, so you don't know one way or the other, and timing isn't right or something like that. Like, that could kind of keep you in a holding pattern. But it's absolutely possible to have feelings. That's the same as if you are with someone and you break up. You don't necessarily, lose all feeling for them at the breakup, but you might potentially start dating or doing, you know, whatever you do going forward.
I stopped feeling way before the breakup typically. So when we're broken up, I'm like,
I guess it depends on which side of the breakup you're on. Somebody might be like, I didn't see it
coming. Like, you didn't get the box with the broken glass in it that I put on your doorstep in a heart shape.
Right.
You didn't catch that?
No. Mm-mm.
Listen,
I thought we'd be okay. So yeah, I definitely think it's possible. And again, it just boils down to a decision. Like I have to let this go, or I have to do something else because this is not a thing. But also, I value our friendship, right? Like I really want the very best for what we do have, and so it doesn't help for me, you know, to be pining away over something that's not going to be, and then also to inhibit, you know, anything in my life that could be coming because I'm focused on something that's not going to be. So it definitely takes a lot of maturity. It might take, you know, you might have to cry it out, yell it out, do some journaling. You know, I definitely am not the one to say like, oh, just get over it, because you know, depending on how deep the feelings are, depending on what the conversation was when you shared your feelings, like a lot of that stuff can cause, you know, hurt and whatnot. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do to move forward is really the name of the game. So shout out to these folks that have been sharing with us, and you know, to the folks that are mature enough to say, hey, I'm not happy about this situation.
Right.
But I'm happy that you're happy.
So there was a question that I asked to that story too when it was
okay, because I had one too. But go ahead.
Okay,
what's your question?
No, you can ask yours first.
Well, I guess my question is, so because she said the minute he says, okay, I'm ready, my answer is yes. So she's divorced. He is currently in a relationship, or are they both?
I think he's coming.
Single?
I think he's coming out of a relationship. I'm not. I don't remember his status, but regardless of his status, if he says the word, she's with it.
Ready?
Yeah, she ready. But my question to her was, this friend has been a friend for a long time, like pre-marriage, which means your ex-husband is aware of this friend, most likely. And so like they have children together. And so I asked, like, do you consider how the ex-husband would feel that this was someone that was around, like in a friendship capacity during the marriage, you know, because it can raise questions on what was going on. To which she replied, he don't get a say so. Like he had a decision of who I dated when we were together. Like you were my whole husband. And so she was like, while we dated, you dated. No, while we were married, you dated who you wanted to, and so now that we're divorced, I'm gonna date who I want to. I was like, I can't.
No, and on its face, yes, right. But there's a lot of things that we don't know. Is this like somebody that is my friend from my life before you? Just because they were my friend doesn't mean that something has been going on throughout. But is this a mutual friend? Is this somebody that's been all in our house? Is this a friend our kids know? Is this somebody's godparent?
For her,
that's when it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter just because of how he conducted himself in the marriage.
Oh, well then
she was like, no, that's what she said. He dated who he wanted to while we were married.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
Well then
we're divorced, so you get no say so in who I date. Like you had complete control of that while we were married, and we're not. So you don't get to contribute to that decision. So yeah,
that was information I didn't have. So
yeah, and I'm like, when you put it like that.
Yeah, no argument. No argument.
Yeah, the defense rests, Your Honor.
Yeah, hello. All right, next. I told my best friend that I'm in love with him. He's scared that if we proceed further, he'll lose me as a friend. Yet he says if he's with any woman and she has an issue with our relationship, she has to go. I don't feel it fair that he wants to keep me around on the sideline, knowing my feelings. But he defined a loyalty to me that doesn't reward me the way I want. This, so I think this is the bottom line between the schism that exists between men and women. Like what we want and what you guys give or offer or how you explain, how you answer. Sometimes it just doesn't match up. And at the end of the day, like, is he wrong for that? Like, no, like he hasn't. This is his, hey, I love you enough that I want you in my life. Nobody can take your place, but I don't want to move you into this spot because I don't want to lose you. Like, to us, I'm sure the first thing that a woman would call is BS. Like, that's some bullshit, but that's his truth, or is the truth. And at this point, the only thing you can do, sis, is make a decision about whether or not you want to roll with that. Is it fair? I don't know.
It's fair.
It is what it is.
And it's fair, and I'm gonna tell you why it's fair. Is because consider the school of thought that a large number of women exist in when it comes to men, as far as when a man wants something, he goes for it, right? I always call BS on that. It's not true. But that's what a lot of women think, and they use that scenario as a convenient narrative because they want men to pursue, right? And if you're not pursuing in the timeline that she wants, they always default to that. Oh, when a man if he ain't pursued you, then he must not want you, or it means this, and all this other stuff, right? Because men are monoliths. When you want something from them, we're monolithic, right? So if men are the hunter-gatherers that you say we are, and if he wants something, he will say something, then why is it in the initial meeting this didn't occur, or early on before we evolved into best friends? Because how long does that take? So if he hasn't said anything from hello to BFF, then why is it now that I'm going to instantly fall into this thing and I put you, like I had you in this I don't want to say box, but in this play, you've played this role in my life for this long, right? I've dated other women while you were in this space. You've watched me do it for however long. You are who I come to with this. You know where the bodies are buried. You know all these different conversations and stuff like that. You feel me? So had you never said anything, I would still have you in this place in my life as best friend. I may not have even considered, I might be in a space now to where, let me take a step back and look and see if you fit into that space in my heart. I don't know that you do because this is new information for me. Or, granted, you have those other scenarios where they both were interested and didn't say anything, but let's just say this is not something that I've considered. You see what I'm saying? You've been considering it for however long, but you know what I mean? And so now I have to be thrust in a place that has taken you, I don't know, months, years, whatever, to be in. So it's absolutely fair to say, hey, yeah, I love you, but I love you in this area of my life. This is where I need you. This is where you've always been. Like, I don't imagine my life without you in this space. And my romantic relationships change and shift. You've seen it. Like, I've not been good at it or whatever. You know what I mean? And so because I perform this way, just because we love each other on this level and we're great at this level does not mean that that's going to translate on this side of things. And am I willing to risk that? Now, on the one hand, it could be awesome. It could be great because we got the friendship thing down pat. But romantic relationships come with different expectations. And friendship is friendship because of the lack of expectation. You see what I'm saying? You and I, the best friend, we have conversations. We are what we are because there is no judgment after we say what we say. We are open, we are honest, we speak our truth, and we do not shame or judge each other for it. Like, we just had a whole conversation about some shit before we went on the air that we both know if that footage ever leaked, it's like, oh, right? But I trust me with what you said, and I trust you with what I said. because
Right.
that's what friendship does. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so those other aspects of love or hurt or trauma or whatever, like we've shared a lot over 20 years plus. You see what I'm saying? And so to shift, and now, like in a relationship, I'm probably not going to be as open to communicate those things with you, because now I'm more worried how you're going to feel about what I say. You know what I mean?
And I think the thought, it's like Nirvana is, well, if we already have this as best friends, why can't we bring this into this space, right? If I am a judgment-free zone and you are a judgment-free zone, why all of a sudden does this change?
Because my ability to hurt you has grown. So, for instance, I can say something and you can be like, "Oh, that's bars," and then hashtag Boo can say the very same thing, and it's gonna have a completely different effect. It's like, okay, I'll say this: if I were to say, "Hey, Dre, you been working out? Like, I need you. Hey, get in the gym. Like your face looking kind of full." Or,
I've already said that.
You didn't. You ain't said. This is a complete random example. That is not an observation. You see, how I got to backtrack now. We just friends, and we got. But no. So now, if hashtag Boo says that can have a different effect, because that can translate. Well, are you not attracted to me right now? What are you saying? Like blah blah blah. It's, you take it somewhere else, right? Conversely, when you come on, I'm like, "Oh shit, you popping today?" You look at you like, "Oh, thank you." But if hashtag, even though he don't talk like that, he might be like,
popping today.
"Yeah, you popping today." Like, "Oh shit, you popping today." You might be like, "Oh shit," we gonna cut this episode short, Bars. I'm gonna be back. It puts you in a whole different space. Right. You see what I'm saying? So that means, like, so when you change the dynamic of the relationship, the communication change, what words mean change, what actions mean change. You see what I'm saying? And so our propensity to hurt each other, our likelihood of misinterpreting things that we were once free to say, now it comes with a greater responsibility. It's almost like having this friendship, and then we crack a bunch of eggshells and put in between us. And then and say, let's move forward and try to avoid. You know what I mean? It's different.
Wow. And I think, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I think that is the thing for women. We have this idealistic picture, right? Because we have fallen in love or caught feelings for what it is, and it sounds like men, you are then realistic, like, okay, yeah, this is what it is, but I want to keep this what it is, and I already know when we take it from here and put this over here, it's going to be something different. And so that is a disconnect in itself. And sometimes, ladies, we are, again, being protected. If they know, like, either themselves, they are not ready to treat you in a certain way, or lock it down, or whatever the case may be. He's like, "Nah, I'm not dealing with it." Or the gamble is just too much of a risk to even try, because I know that things are going to change, even if no one does something wrong. It's just, the way that we talk to each other, the way we flow, this type of thing might not be on point. And we didn't even get into like chemistry, right? Because there are some friends who are cool and everything, and then awkward with everything else, like, let me turn my head this way, right. what do I do? So there's there are a whole lot of things. So we have another response. Platonic. I want to sleep with him. I've said it. I believe if I'm aggressive, he'll submit to it. Oh shoot. Not just whatever you want. But so far, he flirts. I cross the line, and he pulls back before anything further happens. He's standing firm on not wanting to ruin the friendship because he values it so much and needs me, in quotes, as he puts it. And so it's the same all around the world, same song, right? Like, the women are like, look, let's do it. Whether it's just sex, whether it's let's
Mm-hmm.
do a full-fledged relationship, let's explore our feelings, and the men are like,
Mm-hmm. I
but
don't
this
trust
might
your
not work
emotions.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't trust your emotions. Cause the homie lover friend type situation, like best friends, and then we can have sex, and then don't let it be great sex.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like I get this emotional safe space and then this great physical space. Let's not fuck it up with a relationship and expectations and requirements. And you see what I'm saying? Because like, so I had a situation like that to where we were friends. We had great sex and we didn't have expectations of each other. It later changed because she did tell me she was in love with me after the fact. Like we kind of stopped talking. Like she got mad at me. We stopped talking for a while, and then I found out later she was like, because I couldn't continue to do it because I was in love with you, and I knew I could never be with you because of So I was like, well, damn. Now, but we did repair. We're still friends to this day, great friends and love her to death. But it was so awesome because at that point in my life, it was exactly what I needed. You know what I mean? And so relationships can just get so daunting because I feel like we move away from the thing that got us to the point of wanting to be together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we were cool, we were friends, we had like chemistry, blah 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 blah. And then the moment you decide that you're together, expectations and behaviors are now required to where it was easy when you didn't like. I'm somebody who I'll do anything in the world when you don't require me to.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not expected and you don't have that entitlement thing. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, you're awesome to me. Like this situation is great. I want to do this thing for you. But when it's like, oh well, you didn't do this, and this, and blah 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 blah, and we've been together this long, and you haven't done this, and it's like you're fucking it up. Like it was just better the other way. I like it the other way better. You know what I mean? And so, but imagine this: if you entered into a relationship and say, hey, I want you to be exactly who you've always been to get us to this point. And I'm not talking about like the growth as a person or whatever, like, but the person who you were before we said we're official is the person I fell in love with.
Yeah.
And that's who I want. And so, and so I was watching Dr. Wayne Dyer, and this was something I had felt and realized a long time ago, but he put it just in other words. I always say, like, we get into relationships and we hand each other a list of things we can no longer do because it's going to upset or hurt the other. And hence is like, I'm not able to be myself because myself is going to hurt you. Mm-hmm. Whereas he said, hey, I release you to be who you are, to do the things that make you happy, to do the things that you enjoy, because I want to do the same, because that makes you who you are. And that's the person that I fell in love with. You know what I mean? Like we want to get with someone and constrict and control them, to mask our insecurities and to keep them from hurting us. And so we don't experience old trauma. But I was doing all that shit before. And that's who you fell for me while I was doing that. Whatever. And I ain't saying like sleeping around, but like being this person or social or flirty or whatever it was. That's who I was. And that's who you fell for. So now you're afraid that someone else is going to fall for it too. So now I got to cut that part off because it makes you uncomfortable or insecure. No, now I'm miserable because I can no longer do the things that make me happy so that you can remain happy.
That's good. That's really good. That's really good. Okay. Well, we have, oh gosh, we have two more. Yeah, if we let's go on and knock them out. So here's one. I've been there and didn't speak up in fear of losing that friend. I used to listen to a song by Jasmine Sullivan that spoke the exact feelings, called Silent Tears. It was hard watching that person in a relationship, sharing ideas, creating I'm sorry gifts, and putting them together for him myself, helping to pick out an engagement ring, and being that ear when needed. It was hard, but I made up in my mind I'd rather have him in my life as my friend than not to have him in my life at all. That lasted until I couldn't hold my feelings in anymore and I had a talk with him. Nothing happened as he was very much so invested in his relationship and we agreed to remain friends. All was good until the communication died down, and next thing I know, I was seeing pics of his wedding day on Facebook. Of course, I was hurt, mostly because he didn't tell me about the date or anything, and all of our mutual friends kept it hush too, which only made me wish I'd never said anything at all. What I didn't want to happen did happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I don't know what the expectation is of a man when you tell him these things when he's already with someone else, right? It's like, you're my friend. I owe it to you not to hurt your feelings, but I'm involved with somebody else. And if you went with him to pick out an engagement ring, then you knew that was coming at some point in time anyway. And so it sounds like what he did was just like, yeah, if I know that my friend is in love with me, not just like,
Okay, you ever thought about being together?
Yeah, no, but you in love and you're going through all this pain that, I haven't heard Silent Tears, but now I'm going to look it up. Maybe he's thinking, okay, friend or not, you're not trying to be Vesta Williams on my wedding day.
Congratulations. That was an awesome song.
I know it should have been me.
Vesta. Yeah.
Yeah. He not trying to put you in that situation, sis. So it was like, look, and clearly he told everybody.
Like, hey, don't tell.
That sucks. We laughing about it, but it does suck it does because suck. I'm sure you feel like I could have pulled it together for my friend, but he's thinking like, why? Like it doesn't, clearly he doesn't feel like you're not his friend, I'm assuming you guys were still, because she said it was all good until I found out. So it just was like he just cut that part off. Like it's not.
He may not have trusted her feelings.
I don't blame him.
And then there's something else that we haven't considered.
The woman.
Does his wife know? Like, did she find out? Does she know? Did he tell her? Does she?
Because let somebody
or here's this, and this is the part that I would hate because I can't stand this. She like you, right? I don't trust her. Like, and you've been defending the whole time, and then all of a sudden, the very thing that she's been saying,
it's like
it's true. And then now, what do you do? Like, just your moral fabric. Your integrity is you know what I'm saying? It might be like, hey, I have to deal with this before it potentially gets out of hand. There's I'm getting married. Right. And I can't have this distraction. Or could it be maybe he felt the same way and had to like, I have to get this away from me because this is a temptation. I'm getting married. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot on both sides. I don't envy that motherfucker.
Right.
The guy.
Right. Absolutely. So, okay. And our very last one. The answer is once. Then we dated. Okay. So sounds like the feeling was mutual. And then we broke up very amicably. And then it sucked watching him be with someone else. We could only still be friends if we stayed single. I decided I wouldn't ever do it again with someone I felt like I needed in my life. I'd get over the crush sooner than I'd get over never having them in my life again. And when I saw this, I sent her a message and said, look, I think that's how I ended the last part. Was like, these feelings that you are going to allow to handicap your relationship, they are going to pass. In the moment, it feels like, I'll never get over. They will pass. And so you literally have to, talk some sense into yourself. But no, you don't, if it's a real friendship. And like you said, the things that cause you to fall for the person in the first place, you want those things in your life regardless. Now, if you do not trust yourself to be a friend, right? Like you're going to always be trying to sabotage their relationships and all that kind of stuff, then you really need to go away somewhere. But other than that, yeah, I think in my brain when I was young, because I always had the kind of fantasy of like, your high school sweetheart and all this kind of stuff, and just being, whoever your best friend or someone that you knew from being very, very young anyway. Like you see it in movies and TV shows even, right? Like
loving basketball.
Each other on the playground and loving basketball. And then, you go through your life and then you wind up married and then you have all these stories to tell. But that's not, necessarily how it goes. Everybody that's in your life that is of the opposite sex or the sex that you're attracted to isn't necessarily, a potential partner. Some people really are in our lives to help move us forward, to walk with us during certain times and be there. So it's really about identifying that person and what role they play in their life and what role you're meant to play in their life, and and rolling with it. But I was kind of transporting myself back. I'm like, it sucks, to have feelings and you're so idealistic. You're really like, oh, this is going to be great because we have the best time together, or I'm able to be me and he's able to be him, or she's able to be her, or whatever. And you toss it out there and then it's like,
like, whoa. I don't know why did the music from Mario Brothers When You Die come in my head when you say that?
Because that's exactly what it feels like. Or like you said, it could be okay. We feel the same, but circumstances are that we can't take advantage of it, and it doesn't work. So,
I mean, you would think that it would be easy enough. It's kind of like, hey, we just do what we've been doing and then have sex too.
Yeah. That's what I was asking. I was like, can't you really just picking this up and putting it in this new box?
Yeah.
And you was like, no, that's not how that goes.
It's not, but ideally it would be like, it's like, hey, we do what we do, but then we just take our clothes off and do it.
And have sleepovers.
And make each other come. I swear to God, I embarrass you, don't I?
Because I'm like, these are not our personal conversations anymore. This is
oh yeah. For those who don't know, this is shit we do when the camera's off, and now it's like y'all get a peek into it. But that's what this show is. Y'all get to peek into our friendship.
Yep.
So
that's what it is.
We're friends in front of the world. Maybe we'll change the name of Crossroads to Friends in Front of the World.
Friends in Front of the World. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be your friend in front of the world.
Oh, thank you for being a friend.
Hey.
Oh, I got to do the other version.
Yes.
From the bottom. No, he killed that.
He did. He did.
Yeah. So, what are your final thoughts? If we got to put a bow on it, and this, I mean, because this can go, but if you had to put a bow on this topic, what were your final thoughts?
I think I gave mine just before that. I think those were my final thoughts. Friendship is important. And if you're blessed to have really, really good friends, then you definitely want to cherish them. And if you're super blessed to have a friend or friends of the opposite sex, then I think that really is the cheat code. I say that all the time because you are able to get a glimpse into, what the other side is doing, what they're thinking. There is that space to exist and to make mistakes. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
I flub all the time, and I get made fun of in front of the world now. It used to be private, but now he makes fun of me in front of all of you. But that's friendship,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoying that and existing in that space. And yeah, ever so often you might find yourself attracted, if you will, and in the situation where you will need to have that kind of conversation. But definitely just, really, really weigh the pros and the cons
Mm-hmm.
of that thing. I don't even know now, hearing, Bars explain, like, how things change. I don't even know how we say that we have feelings and then assure them like, oh, nothing's going to change, because,
You can't.
you
You
can't.
can't.
Yeah, you can't. So I don't know. I don't even know if I have a final thought, because it is kind of, and when I say I don't know that I have a final thought, because I want it to be nice and to
Mm-hmm.
be able to tie it up. And I don't have anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's literally, it's a risk. It's a
Mm-hmm.
risk for you to say it. It's a risk for you to do it. It's also a risk for you to hold it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
And
see,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, I agree with that, but I'll say this: it's kind of like, from my final thoughts, if you are going to um cross that line, right, with saying it, consider all factors and calculate the risk. Like I said earlier, take inventory on what you value, because you can risk losing it if you say something. Don't be selfish either. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, they need to know it's not fair or some shit like that. No, you have to be fair to them. If they are in, like, this might sound fucked up, but if they're in a fucked up situation, it's almost like, but you don't get to decide for them also.
that's true. Because you might think it's fucked up, and they
Right.
might just,
Or they might be telling you it's fucked up, but you don't get to. They might want to work it out, and now here you come complicating it with this.
exactly.
So I think on its face, I would say, if they are in a relationship, don't say anything. Don't do that. That's something that you have to hold on to. Because think of, and I would just say this, like, from the perspective of men, like, you can't count the number of women that you've felt for or wanted to say something to and didn't approach for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the fear of rejection, or she got a dude, or, like, it's even hard trying to figure out if she got a dude. You know what I mean? Because now when you ask that question, you're already putting yourself out there, and it's like, oh, I'm talking to somebody, and now she knows how you feel, or that you have a level of interest. And it's a lot. And so now it's like, okay, now it's the next one, or you know what I'm saying? It's different, and so I don't know how it is for women, but it's like, for someone who is largely more pursued than a man is, like, this is, I can see, like, the discomfort in, I'm gonna say something, because you're not the pursuer normally. You know what I mean? So you don't calculate these risks, or you don't do certain things. It's just like, I'm gonna put, and it's almost like, I'm gonna say this to put him in a position to make a decision. I'm putting that out there. Now you got to make the decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying men don't do it too. Men, you can be friends, and he's like, hey, I want something more. I'm feeling this. And she's like, no. But, and notice this. We never say that about women. When women say, I want you as my friend, it's like, that's perfectly normal for her to say. I can't lose you as my friend. Oh my God.
Well, I think we assume, right, that when women throw up the blockers, it's because they're not attracted or interested, right? And when men do it because you guys are trying to avoid hurting feelings, you say, even though it's true for some of you, I guess, that you're afraid of the friendship changing. Maybe,
Also,
even the way I said that discounted what you say. I don't mean to.
We're also right, but we're also cheat code, we're also scared of hurting you.
Yeah. And so I think women take your answer and see it like it's something that could be overcome. Right? Like, oh, you're afraid of the friend. Like, oh no, it's me. It's us. But we should be friends. You don't overcome that. She don't want to be
those that she's re-strategizing that shit.
So I think that is the major difference. When you guys don't put it out there that like I'm literally not interested. You lay it out as, all things being equal, I'll rock with you. Matter of fact, I would smash, but I don't want to mess up this friendship. And then she's like, what? She almost damn near say fuck the friendship at that point, because she feels like, okay, we are aligned. Versus on the other side, it's generally like,
like at a certain age, we won't even smash random women if we think they're gonna catch feelings. That's
good. And women need to know that happens. I think a lot of times, we're still operating off of 18 to 30. Let's just give you that time frame where many of you are eager, willing, and ready. So
yeah, just like because and the homies will be like if they see the interaction, like, bro, don't do it, bro. That's a stage 5 clinger right there.
And you just be like, okay,
yeah, be like, bro, I know, and she can be bad as hell, like, but we calculate that the aftermath. We calculate that shit. It's like then dudes that's like doing shady shit, they in a relationship or they married. Like most dudes are calculated with the women they cheat with. Because to cheat with a woman, like it is the ultimate risk, because you are giving her power to fuck your shit up
all the way.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to choose your side chick just as carefully, if not more carefully, than your wife. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to keep her happy. You have to. She gotta know her. She gotta know her role. She gotta play that shit. And you're putting her in a position to make demands, depending on how much she knows about your shit. So, like, you can't be. I don't mean to give cheating cheat codes, but it's like you can't be. Your side chick can't be the shoulder to cry on. Because you giving her ammo against your wife now, and if you trying to fix shit with your wife, you fucking it up by giving this woman ammunition against. Because if it gets better, she knows your dirty laundry now. She knows your secrets. She knows, and at any time he told me, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
it ain't no coming back from that. So yeah, that's a whole other episode. But
that is a whole nother episode.
This has been the Xrossroadz, y'all. This is a very fun 2-part series. And remember, like, by the time y'all get this, we're going live tonight. So this is airing at midnight Pacific Standard Time. And if you're seeing this before 6 p.m. Pacific, be reminded, we are going live and we're going to unpack this even more. We're going to get your commentary, your questions, your comments on what you've seen. So make sure you watch this before 6. I don't know why I'm telling you that, because if you're at this point, you've already watched it. So that was kind of stupid.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. I ain't even gonna edit that out. But y'all, we love y'all. Thank y'all for watching the Xrossroadz. And as always, in parting, remember, be free. To be you.
Bye.
See you next week. See you tonight, actually.
See you tonight.
We want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and register for our email list for more episodes and projects from your hosts, Barzini and Dre Renee. Until next time, this has been the Xrossroadz Podcast. And remember, be free to be you.